Hello, dear friends. This is Luce Fleury Levi, founder of Universal Grace Film Feminine Foundation. I hope you are well. I would like to speak to you today about healing under the wings of infinite love. This is a part 4, is a continuation of the other videos, and choosing the highest road. We are going through difficult times, and many associate our times with what the Bible calls the end times. Many times in history, some people did that. They predicted this was the end time. I was working as a volunteer many years in the Middle East, Israel, Palestine, and we had, like, every Sunday you would see, or whatever, even during the week, some strange characters by Jaffa gates in the old city in Jerusalem, screaming from the top of their voice that they were Elijah, or they were Mary, and that it was the end time, that tomorrow at 10 a.m., the whole world will collapse. And we used to sadly, smile, laugh about that, because obviously the next day the same people were there, and the end time, was still, the world was still carrying on. When you talked with these people, it was clear that they were very hurt individuals who had misinterpreted the Bible and had a lot of identity problems. I am not saying that to discredit the Bible or the end time prophecies. I'm just simply saying that we need to be careful and to go to the to study ourselves the Bible, study ourselves the prophecies. Each one of us has their own way of understanding God or understanding prophecies, so that I often say on my Twitter account, I give my own angle, because I think each one of us is a unique, precious individual. And if we are willing to learn and to grow, we are given a specific angle. And this specific angle is here to bring some light. And when we share, if you want, we need to study and listen to each other so we can see the whole picture, you see. Unfortunately, when some are just monopolizing the microphone, screaming louder because they think they are a male, brute force voice, and refuse to hear what the others have to say, they're missing a lot. It's like a puzzle or a mosaic that can't come together in harmony and peace, because one has monopolized by force and threats and brutality, and is falsifying the game, you see. So the only thing I say is that we need to consider different angles to see the whole mosaic, to see the whole picture. But we mainly need to study by ourselves, which is, in a sense, choosing a high road, because it's not easy. It's not easy to look for the real truth and to do the effort to try to understand and to pass through precisely these stereotypes, interpretations, to hear in a fresh, original way. I think that personally, as I say, that's the way I see it. What is happening now is not yet the end times. Yes, there are many signs which are referring to what the Bible describes, which seem to have already happened. But even if we want to follow the schedule of event in the Bible, we are not yet there completely. There are many other things that have to occur first. I believe that there are two things here. There are consequences of us allowing the darkness, as I have explained in my other videos, which are real, which are a turmoil, consequences of our own actions, consequences of what we have allowed evil cabal to plot quietly and put in practice, because they are very organized in their schedule, in what they think, the way they should organize their drills and their plans. And there is precisely what these groups are doing, because they want people to believe it's the end time, which is not. They are like creating a lab virus to create a false pandemic. This is not the end time. It is created, part of an evil plan to harm humanity. Yes, these evil plans are from time to time re-emerging, like, already compared with what happened during Hitler, that at that time already some people said it was the end time. They always are in the background, but when we allow it, they become stronger. So it's a kind of us choosing the light and choosing the highest road. When you read Isaiah 35, it is explaining that we need to be strengthened in our positive hope that there is a loving kindness in the center of a universe, that the deep essence of nature, of source divine or God, is infinite love and loving kindness. And it's not like a inferior God, like the false gods of Rome or Greece or antiquity, Baal or Moloch. It is not an idol, but it is a neutral, pure essence. And the essence is infinite love, a cosmic justice, etc. But it's like a neutral nature which is infinite and never changing, and doesn't depend on whatever we do or not. So we can sometimes walk away by our actions or allow the darkness, but we can always return. I chose what I call the third way out of duality, which is a gracious way. In the feminine, divine, a gracious gift of life, which is free, it's a free gift. We will find always guidance and comfort to find the highest road. Isaiah 35 is speaking about taking beloved seekers, of truth, out of the wilderness, out of the darkness, to abundance of water and flowers and vegetation, provision, abundant provision, to lead them to the origin of love through the highway that a highway is described where only those who are true seekers will find the beloved, will find the real truth, and will live in plenitude in the middle of the true light. I believe that this is an exhortation, which is a little similar to the one of Hebrew 11 in the Bible, where it is spoken about all those who chose this highest road by faith. And they have proven that although there are beautiful things in our world, it's a world of duality where a choice has to be made. And this world of duality is very painful because those who choose the darkness are continually, by their free will, bringing it in the reality even of those who choose a light, okay? And this is bringing a lot of pain. Also, we, as long as we are here, are we can try. We do our best to walk according to the Spirit, and to keep being genuine seekers, but we still live in duality. Although we borrow the sanctification highest road, where we, in a sense, crucify our lower self to live the resurrected higher self in Christ, or we would call it the inner true essence of love, okay? We are, it is, we need continually what we would say translation. We need continually the grace to get reborn every day in the right direction, because there is a kind of struggle, a fight in this world of duality, even if we want to choose to get out of it. So the third way, the gracious way, which is neutral and gives us a distance to observe what is happening in this duality, is a way that allows us to live in the bliss of the infinite love. And we are hoping to be totally translated from this world of duality, exiting it, to live in the original bliss. You see, what these difficult times are reaffirming for me is, since I was very young, I had understood the problem of this duality and the tragedy, of this duality in our world. And I had chosen to exit it, in a sense. So I consecrated to spiritual humanitarian work for this reason, because I wanted to live in the third gracious dimension. What is happening is that we are, when we see prophecies which are trying to predict terrible things for humanity, and basically it does not change much for me or for people who have chosen the highest road, because whether we are in the end time or not, the problem is not there. The problem is, the root of the problem is in ourselves, in this duality. And, some people believe in reincarnation, and it could be very real. I mean, we can see many documentaries with proofs that reincarnation exists, but it is a continuing suffering. And even in the philosophies who believe in reincarnation, a lot of wise people among this philosophy want to exit it. They want to exit the continual cycle of returning in duality and suffering to reach to what some call the nirvana, or what we can call the resurrection. So the highest road is the desire to be completely translated, to reach out to this resurrection, exiting our world of duality completely. Hebrew 11 explains that for some, they were promised many blessings on this earth, but in fact they didn't obtain them, and they were looking for a better world, a world which is completely out of duality, which is the original bliss of the third way of gracious infinite love, so that they chose the highest road. You see, sometimes, as I explained, we can get sidetracked with a lot are well-meaning, in the truth movement. They are well-meaning. They are presenting, denouncing the darkness, and we need to do that, as I already explained. But also others who could be infiltrators are binding humanity to pain by predicting, yes, it is the end time, everything is going to be desolated and ugly for everyone, and they are predicting sealing humanity to a lower destiny, as I explained in my video about gold from heaven, okay? And other people are working very hard to make it happen here, to make all the blessings, they are hanging on to earthly blessings. And that's where the problem is, because it's not about hanging on to earthly blessing or success or failure in the eyes of this world of duality. It's about hanging on to infinite love and the essence of infinite love. Because then we understood that we want to be out of duality, and we are not able to really be happy in a world where others will carry on suffering, even if we had everything we wanted ourselves. You see, that's a big problem of some people who have chosen the darkness, because they see their happiness as having everything for themselves, and they would walk over dead bodies to get it. That's darkness, and they that's where they find their happiness, in the material 3D, because they lost their conscience. They are going more and more down in the low, the lowest path, which is a destructive path for themselves. That's why we need to have compassion for them and help them to realize what's going on, to help them, if we can, to show them, the ending of, as I said often, the bad karma they are attracting upon themselves. And the bad eternal destiny they are building up for themselves. So, but sometimes we want to push blessings our ways. We want to make it happen with our own strengths, because we misunderstand. We misunderstand the spiritual nature of things in the spiritual realm. Whilst in fact, as the popular saying, explains we need to let go and let God or let universal love do it for us, because the universe, as I explained many times, has physical and spiritual laws and has its own balance in life without us, And what we need is to let go and let do. I mean, I had received this prophecy that the lockdown will soon end, because this was only a drill. It was a drill on on an evil master plan, which they mean to come back and do to hurt the whole world. Was only one first, if you want, test or drill where they involved people in reality, because they had done many drills without involving people in a lockdown like now. So, but you see, that will be brought to an end because they're not ready now, and as I said, it's not yet in any case the end time. So infinite love, source divine God, is always in charge, is always winning. Okay, so they can't do anything without God allowing it, and it's not yet, the end times, as they're trying to say. What is happening now? Things are going to go progressively in bracket normal, but friends, nothing has ever been normal in our world. When people say normal, it's very frightening, because it seems that there is a blindness that nothing is really normal. We don't live in a normal world. You can see that every day, even when things are at their peak, and the supermarkets are full of food. It's not normal. There are still people fighting, dying, killing each other, misery in some countries, wars, etc. That's not normal, because that's not the eternal bliss, that's not the infinite love. We are coming from a loving creator who has a dream, which is a reality in the highest road of the third gracious way, where everything is beautiful because everything is true and loving. And this is not the reality we live here in the 3D, so there is no normal, okay? But to employ human expression, I would say we will return more to what we are used to call a normal, a little bit now, which is more a time for us to prepare ourselves. Because in the struggle between light and darkness in the duality world, this group is at the moment like, in a football game, they are holding the ball, okay, and they want to have they want to enjoy themselves with it, So they are going to come back and try to hurt people more. But what I want to say, we need to prepare ourselves, is what I have been doing since I was young, in choosing the highest road, the highway, not hanging on to earthly blessings and trying to make it happen, trying to be so determined to succeed in this failed world of duality, but hanging on to the highest road of infinite love, to want to be translated completely to the third neutral way of cosmic justice and infinite love. As in Hebrew 11 in the Bible is explaining that those who are looking for their true country, their true home, which is not in this world, and persevered by faith, not obtaining what they were promised on this earth, and they left this earth gladly, without having all the little goodies they wanted for themselves, because they wanted the real essence of infinite love. It's like in Plato's cave, where you've got these people who just want the shadows, and they think the shadows are the real light, and they would kill each other to get these shadows, in fact, they don't realize they're only shadows, they're lies. So what is important is to desire the light and to be translated through our light bodies, our light beings, so that we can live in this infinite love light and not to stay here fighting each other. So I would say, whether it is the end time or not, whether we are going to a normal or not, when I say we're going to get gold from heaven, yes, we need, as long as we are here, some sustenance, and God wants to give it to us. But the most important is that to consider that our real gold is infinite love, and that we want to be translated, we want to choose the highest road. So friends, in spite of the tragedy and the pain, the cruelty of seeing our loved ones leaving this earth, we need to rejoice for those who have chosen this highest road, that they have been translated, they left their biological body, and they are now in bliss. So personally, I want to keep on choosing this highest road, and if you know that I left my biological body, please rejoice for me, because that's what is my greatest desire since I was young and made that choice to get out of the corruption of this world. As long as we are here, it doesn't mean we need to be a coward. We need to keep on being involved, helping others, because if we are choosing the highest road, is to precisely reflect this infinite love on everyone on our way as much as we can, through our prayers or intention, as I explained, or actions, to do what we can where we are. Friends, so let us keep united in intention or prayers, depending if you are atheist, spiritual, or religious, but keep your eyes on the real prize. Keep your eyes on the sorting out the root of the problem by exiting duality, to allow infinite love to translate you completely, so that you can live in eternal bliss and show the highest road to others, so they can have an opportunity to be also forever happy. As usual, I am sending much love, and thank you for listening.